Alright, so if you're just clicking on this and you didn't read the title, you might be wondering, hey, why does he have all these fragrances out here? Well, essentially, we're going to talk about what office safe means within the context of men's cologne. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first thing you need to notice when you think about something that's office safe, just generally that means it's something you can wear as fragrance into the office that will be inoffensive and generally regarded as pleasant. This is not placating the office Karen who says she gets a headache when she smells like bathroom soap. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the general public, what they tend to want to be around as far as smells and what smells to avoid, and the intensity of smells that your average person is or is not going to want in the office setting. First thing we got to address is this notion of projection or seeage or wake of smell, whatever you want to call it. It's the idea, sometimes we call it going beast mode with fragrances and men's colognes. We don't want to do that in an office safe environment. So office safe colognes generally are ones that are going to have about an arm's length kind of wake to them. You're not going to want to fill a room. If the person across the room can smell you, it's not office safe. So that means that this guy, which is a viral favorite for many people, Nitro Red and its big brother Nitro Red Intensely from Dumont Paris, this is a bad idea. This is not what you wear into the office. You don't do that. Same with Hawass. Hawass does the same thing. They push out really, really hard. Hawass Ice as well. It's too much push. It's too much go out there. It's going to fill a room. This is especially true if you're bad on your timing. You should never be putting on your cologne while you're in the car about to walk into work. Your cologne should have already been on you for about an hour before you walk into work. It gives it time to settle. It gives that initial big push of fragrance that comes out with colognes a chance to go away. Not completely, obviously, because you still want to have some projection, but it makes it so it's not quite so pushy out the entire time. It makes it more office safe, more friendly, less likely to get funny looks. You don't want to give it on a crowded elevator, all that fun stuff. You don't want to sit there and basically make everyone around you going, oh my God, that's so much. You don't want to be so cloying and sweet in those narrow spaces like a cubicle farm or even just an office setting, generally, again, the elevators, where you're going to make everyone around you potentially get a headache or that nauseatingly sweet smell that sometimes happens that we don't really like that much. Next thing we got to talk about are notes. So let's get rid of these guys. Let's get rid of the baddies. We'll talk about those later. We're going to talk about notes that we want to have within office safe fragrances. And the overall thing you need to focus on with any office safe fragrance, or what you hope to be an office safe fragrance, is going to be, does it smell clean? Does it smell clean and fresh? That's the goal. You're looking for things like citrus, some light florals. The best example of citrus and light florals, Acqua di Gio EDT. It's the GOAT. It's the reason why it's still a big seller even 20 years later. If you want to go with a more soapy kind of vibe, you can look at like the Azzaro Chrome line. This is more like the blue fragrances out there. They are just generally going to be more friendly, more office safe, because they in many cases they smell like that blue shower gel that we all use. You have things like Burberry Touch that are very floral and powdery. You have some green options. This is a Parfums de Marly Greenly cologne from French Avenue. Very green, very fresh, very citrus. You can go the designer route. Dolce & Gabbana has a little bit of tobacco in the base. If you want something kind of darker and broodier, there's lots of options, but the main theme you want to focus on are light florals, fresh citruses, and things of that nature. Lavender is always a winner in my book. It also projects well if you want to do that. Then as far as like the powderiness, I don't like powder that much, but some people do. It's a good option. Probably one of the most professional fragrances I own. If you can't read it, says Terre de Hermes. This is the EDT version. This is a vetiver bomb. It's going to be like it's a very woody fragrance. In fact, any fragrance that's going to be like sandalwood, cedar, that's also very professional. Again, all of them have a common theme. They smell very fresh and very clean. All right, now we talked about all the fragrances to enjoy and have more of. Again, focusing primarily on light florals, freshness, that soapy kind of vibe, professional wood scents. Let's talk about fragrances to avoid. The super sweet, the cloying, that's the first category. Then after that, we got the dark, brooding, smoky things that aren't really for the office. So I already mentioned Nitro Red and Nitro Red Intensely. Hawass has the similar issues. Too sweet, too big, too loud, too projecting. They smell great. I wear these on a regular basis. I don't wear them in an enclosed space where I know I would never, for example, I would never put on Nitro Red right before I get into a car or a carpool. That would just be rude. It's too much smell for that confined space. Same if you're going into work. If you're going into an elevator, an office bank where you're sitting there next to somebody else who's got to work, they might not want to smell like they're right next to a fruit farm with this or this. The next thing you got to focus on, this is the one that is going to be controversial because these fragrances are controversial. Any fragrance that has oud, I'm going to say this and people are going to get mad at me, oud is not office safe. It's controversial because half of the people that smell it and think that smells like a petting zoo or like a bunch of animal feces mixed with straw. That's what this is. This is a Lattafa fragrance. In fact, both of these are Lattafa fragrances. This is meant to be a Fahrenheit Dior clone. It smells terrible. I don't like it, so I'm biased. It's also very oud heavy. It has that fecal property oud. At the same time, I got Oud for Glory, again from Lattafa. I love this fragrance. This is a great fragrance. It's a sweet, lovely oud. It's smooth, it's nice. However, it's still oud. It can still be offensive. It still is too strong in an enclosed space. And again, it's a 50-50 shot. The person next to you might love it, or they might think you smell like animal feces and they don't want to deal with you. And like oud is going to be the one that gets the HR called on you. These other fragrances, people might be annoyed by it if you have too much on. If you wear oud, and certainly if you wear too much oud in like the middle of summer or something else ridiculous, that's an HR call. That's gonna be like you're a distraction in the workplace. That's a risk. So avoid things like oud, smoke, incense, heavy things. I know. It's so brooding, it's so mysterious, it's so sexy. That's not what work fragrances are for. You're not trying to do that at work. You're trying to smell clean, fresh, and professional. That's the goal. These are not clean, these are not fresh, these are not professional. Likewise with all the incense and smoky things out there, the heavy black pepper fragrances. Those fragrances that really just kind of make your nose kind of twitch. They might work great in like a club or a bar or a restaurant kind of setting. It's not for work. That's not what it's for. So just keep those things in mind. You want to make sure you're not going to push and project out super hard like with this guy right here. You want to make sure you stick to fragrances that are going to be clean, like Burberry Touch. Going to have light florals in them like Aqua de Jo EDT with some citruses in there as well. You can do like the blue shower gel kind of blue, smells like Azzaro Chrome or Versace Eros. Those are all safe. Are they mass appealing? Yes. Are they cliche? Yes. Have they been done before? Yes. But there's a reason for that. It's because they are so well adapted for the workplace and the professional setting. So there you go. I hope the video was helpful and have a great day.